Once again, it's on. We are here to discuss all of the things in the fight world. Fight world has been awesome to us as of late. Not only the quote unquote real fight world, but the celebrity fight world as well. We've had all this cross pollination from boxing and MMA, and we're going to see it again. We're here to talk about two greats in their respective lanes. We're talking about Vitor Belfort in the MMA lane, and of course, Oscar De La Hoya in the boxing lane. They're going to fight. They're scheduled to fight in September. I have my man Will here. We're going to discuss this. We're going to break all of this down. Will, how are you, man?
Doing great, doing great. Excited about this.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. This is going to be great. So both of us are big fight combat sports fans, and of course, both of us are big Vitor fans as well. So
Vitor fan.
Yes. So we followed his career from whether it's Affliction, UFC, you name it. So as of late, it's Bellator, but he hasn't had it. I'm sorry, it's actually one championship, and he hasn't fought in one yet. But for this boxing world, he's 1-0. He had a fight that was canceled. He was going to be on the Lopez card there, and but it was all canceled because of COVID. He's going to fight. I believe he's going to fight Mike Houston. What are you expecting first off when we see this fight? What are you expecting
from against Oscar De La Hoya?
Yes.
Yeah. So while you were just doing that intro, I was going through his Instagram, and he's all the way juiced back up. So I'm expecting the best version, the best TRT Vitor is going to be back. He's doing these 90-minute kettlebell workouts. He's all the way back to pre-USADA days, which is excellent. Which is bad news for Oscar De La Hoya.
No, for sure. I can't wait to see this. Again, I want to see him, Vitor, in the best version of himself at the apex of his powers. Right. So I'm certainly looking forward to that. What do you think with him jumping into, and again, he's 1-0 in boxing. What do you expect from a boxing standpoint? What do you think his strategy will be? Do you think he'll come out and be very, very aggressive, or do you think he'll kind of ease into it a little bit as he is in the natural world or the natural habitat of a boxer? What do you expect?
His style to ease into it. But I mean, I know Anderson Silva has given me a lot of faith in Vitor, like his fight against Chavez Jr.
Right.
Like certain guys I think can make that transition a lot easier than others. And Vitor's always been kind of a boxer. I mean, he had the jiu-jitsu, and and later in his career, like the TRT Vitor, he like got into the kicks and more of a like Machida type of stance. But most of his life, he's been a boxer. He's trained with boxers, so I think he'll be somewhat measured. But he'll be aggressive
for sure, for sure. So let's talk about it from De La Hoya's standpoint.
I feel like that's a harder transition. I feel like cocaine and like wearing lingerie in pictures is a harder transition than mixed martial arts.
Oh man, right. And then did you see the video that he did when he was on Mike Tyson's show when he talked about having the trip with a shaman? Did you see this?
Oh, he's doing the ayahuasca thing.
Yes, and he talked about
the toad medicine and stuff.
Right. And he talked about it being, first off, not to objectify anyone here, but he and Mike Tyson agree. It's like, why is it every time you see it, it's always a very attractive woman? So they connected on that point, right?
Interesting.
So they both connected there. But then, Oscar talked about seeing things, almost having an out-of-body experience, right? So it was interesting to hear his perspective on this. What version, with Oscar talking about the things that he's talked about, and of course, not being regulated, what version of Oscar do you think we'll see?
He'll be on the HGH TRT program too, like they all are. But I don't think those years of partying, they just take a toll. And they've just had very different latter half, like the last 10 years have been very different. Oscar's a promoter. He's exploiting boxers now and then just doing drugs and partying. And like he gained a bunch of weight for a while there. Like, you can get on the TRT and HGH, you get yourself back in shape for one of these exhibitions, but that's not the same as someone who's just been like Vitor hasn't been his prime because once you saw it, everything showed up, but he's still been active. He's still
he had a fight in 2018, right?
Yeah. And so like even his discrepancies are like fitness related. So like when he gets in trouble, it's cocaine and steroids. You can come back and you can just hop back on the juice and get, back to that. You're close to your prime. But like, I feel like partying the way that people talk about Oscar partying, that's just harder to come back from. So I think he'll look good, but I don't think his reflexes will be there. I don't think his stamina will be there. It'll be the type of thing you can do like with a hard 9 months training camp.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be Oscar De La Hoya.
That division as of late with Khabib, Conor, etc., that division, and this is part of the reason why celebrity boxing has really stepped in my opinion, is because in boxing, one of the things that people have it's lost a lot of steam because oftentimes the best fighters don't fight each other.
Right.
It's always
so managed. It's
right.
Yeah, because the first 40 fights now are so just predetermined and managed.
Exactly. Yeah. So the fights that everybody wants to see, you don't get to see them. Or when you do see them, it's when both fighters are past the point where they were at the height of their respective powers, right? So, or at the apex of their powers. So now the celebrity boxing has stepped into that vacuum. And the other thing that stepped into that vacuum to a certain extent is the UFC, with the exception of this division that we're talking about.
Right.
This division has been held up because of, is Khabib going to fight or not? What division is Conor going to fight at? Conor's going to fight Mayweather, right? So this division has been held up. So we've been denied for a while the best fights in that division.
But at least, like, getting back to this Vitor Oscar, at least they're fighters.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel as bad about these fights as I do about the Jake Paul versus whoever. Like, you know what I mean? And we're going to be talking about this in another video, but Conor McGregor is going to be in the mix of these pretty soon too.
No question. No doubt. That's actually a great segue. Let's go ahead and jump into this video. So again, appreciate you all joining this. Will and I are going to be breaking down a lot of things here in the future. So continue to join us, continue to watch us, continue to tap in. We appreciate you guys. We dropped some technology on this track. Continue to follow us.